Namaste
Namaste.
and
Wow,
welcome,
we're in an echo chamber.
all of you. Let me look at you.
Is this the entire GTP group plus?
This is public, right?
Yes, plus GTP.
All right, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. 92. All right, so we're not seeing quite everybody, but
I'm waving at Nella.
all right, Annie. Namaste.
I know, I just finished an hour workout with my trainer, so the energy is pretty high, right?
Okay, so today we're going to explore a conversation that in its very simplicity makes it difficult to recognize or understand. It's the nature of the spiritual journey that when we begin to come out of our own individual paradigm and start entering into the universal paradigm, our ability to perceive what's already here is enhanced. Literally, as we step out of the little box into something that's much larger, you have greater ability to perceive what was there previously in the little box. The little box is the content of us, our story, our history, all of that makes up our individuality. Each human being is in that paradigm completely convinced that's who they are, what life matters about. It is that part of us that continually perpetuates some aspect of the same thing again and again on the treadmill of ignorance, perpetuating moments of happiness and suffering. So when we break out of that paradigm, of course, first there's great relief. And there's this sense of being able to connect to something greater. And that's the beginning of our journey towards our universal capacity to know and experience. So in the Bhagavad Gita, it points to this transition in a couple of places. This is in the beginning of chapter 7, the transition between the awakened individual, the self-aware awakened individual who has found the what that they are, not outside of the who. And that definitely gives us a capacity to perceive and experience who we were before from a broader perspective, but it's still individualized. It is still not speaking to the universal principles in which we existed as human beings and which we woke up in. So in one sense, it is still limited. They're still subject to various extent to the gunas, still attached to the body, still vested in the remnants of our personality and our story and our wishes and our fears. So here in this transition, Krishna is pointing to a state where the soul is ready to step out of that interim spiritual fulfillment into something greater. So he says in the first verse, Arjuna, now hear from me how one who is exclusively linked with me and wants to strive further on the path of yoga, through my grace will attain full knowledge about me and become a perfect yogi. I shall tell you everything about this knowledge, along with the process of realizing it, so there will be nothing left for you to know. Now, this is the first pointer that leads us to this inquiry into the body as a knower. And the second comes up in the beginning of chapter 13, which was also a similarly revelatory chapter, where Arjuna asks the question, please explain to me the difference between matter and spirit, the field and the knower of the field, and also about knowledge and the knower. We don't ask this question. We don't have the capacity to actually get this answer until there's something of the supreme in us, something of this universal capacity in us already. So you can't have a question unless the answer is in the vicinity. So the quality of the question is always a reflection of the quality of the knower, of the experiencer. It reflects an inherent, latent recognition of the truth that is already here with each of us. So at this point, Krishna says, which I have now recognized, perhaps one of the most powerful statements of the Gita. Arjuna, those who know the truth of both say this body is the field, and when it knows its truth, is called the knower of the field. In all the fields, I am the knower. Knowledge about the field and its knower is true knowledge. This is my opinion. The field is the body. There is no knowing without a body. If you look at it in its broad, simple picture, spirit is an all-pervading quality of consciousness, having no boundary. It carries an inherent a quality of awareness, but no content. It's not self-awareness. It is just pure, raw, unadulterated awareness. That quality of spirit cannot exist, cannot manifest except through matter, through a body. It can't know itself except through our bodies or whatever other body it is occupying, because it is. It's the spirit force. It is that which emanates matter. So all life came out of the interface between spirit and matter. And everything living carries within it a limited capacity of the knower in matter. It is a small expression of this vastness of possibility that can occur when spirit wakes up as matter. Okay, so that's where you are right now. That is what you are right now. That's what's happening right now as we speak. See, from this place, what you see is the most simple primal structure of existence and consciousness. So the invitation is for you to just become aware right now. Become aware of your own existence in a body. See if you can be aware right now with your own existence in the body. Now, what is this? What are you doing right now? You're attending. You're attending to what I'm saying. You're seeing my picture. You're seeing other people's picture. What is it in you that allows you to do that? How does that happen? And then what is it in you that can know that's happening? So it's the knower knowing its knowingness in a body. Opening up a possibility of being right here, right now with what we already are. And the proof of that is your awareness of your own existence right here, right now. The only way this is happening is because you have a body. And the only way you can know you have a body is if you're the knower. And Krishna just said, and I am the knower in all bodies. So what in you can know this is the supreme reality that you are. Already here, living you. Now, should it be so simple that we could rest in that state of consciousness? And that's another conversation that we will have here. But I wanted to just be plain and simple and direct and let you know that this isn't something you have to use the mind or the intelligence to figure out. This isn't something that has to feel right or not feel right. This is an isness that we grow in our capacity to integrate and recognize as the reality that we are. You're all here because you've awakened. You've awakened to this knower. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any interest in what we're talking about, nor any sense of how to grasp or enter into the opportunity of this inquiry. Now, I know when I stop, and I know that when you stop, and you just be, you start moving into relationship to the current of your own existence, which is either something you're aware of, perhaps just as energy in your body, or perhaps there is this tangible experience of connecting to something or being part of something. So pay attention, see what's there. Okay, now become aware of your body. Take this immediacy, this felt sense, this awareness. Become aware of your foot, your left foot. Where's your left foot? It's wherever it is. Just notice where it is. How did it get there? Who put it there? What put it there? How is it that you can know your foot? Can you feel your foot? Is a certain weight on the foot? Comes from the calf and the thigh and the knee and the torso. Can you feel that weight? See, there's your body. There's spirit and matter intersecting. There are you occupying this magnificent vehicle we call our body. Now, it's so simple, it's so plain. You may not be able to fully appreciate the magnificence of what it is you're doing, of what it means about the whole fabric of creation and the possibilities of life. But by your directing your attention, what isn't you that's directing the attention? Well, you're being good students if you're doing this. But besides that, what in you is directing the attention? Can you be aware of the part of you that's attending to your left foot? Attending? So that is aware of aware, aware of your awareness, aware of your attention. And notice if your foot has a different feeling about it. Is your foot changing? It's becoming a different kind of foot? Is it still your foot? Is it connected to your ankle? Aware of your ankle? What about your other foot? We don't want to leave your other foot out. What's your right foot? How's your right foot doing? Can you find your right foot? Can you know your right foot? Feel it, be aware of it, sense the energy in it. And it carrying the weight of your ankle, your calf, your knee, your thigh, your thighs, both thighs, and some portion of the weight of your torso that isn't going to your butt. You become aware of your butt. Now that's interesting. Becoming aware of that part of your body, the bottom of your torso, right? Can you feel that? Can you stay with this inquiry? See if there's a shift in the vibration of field of your body. See if your body is changing in its ability to be. There pain, pressure, or is there a bubbling bliss and an electric-like energy occurring? See, you're knowing the body. And if you can stay with this a little bit, you begin to see what part of your identity, what part of your pattern, the habit of your life exists in any one of these parts of your body you're becoming aware of. You're actually, by attending to the body attends to you. It wakes up. It wakes up to you, the knower, and says, yes, yes, please know me. Please see me. Please be me. I work so hard to keep you here. Heal me, love me, know me, feel me. Who are you? Who are we? Now go up your torso. Just ride the attention. Just notice all the things that are going on. Feel that quality of embodiment when awareness, when consciousness interfaces with it. This is so simple. I know it's so simple. It may seem so plain and ordinary that it's not worth anything. Like, what's the applied science of this, right? The old skeptical mind, the dismissing Thomas, the restless Rajas. But just let the body be. Let the body be and be attending to it. Now rise up your torso. Now, torso is a loaded arena. It's got a lot of biological functions going on with consumption and digestion and elimination. It's a workhorse. And all the different organs and aspects, pieces, intestines and livers and pancreases and kidneys are busily at work as this vibrant, pulsing surge of fluids flow through your veins, pumped by your heart, converting the food you have into the substance that your body can use. What a fucking miracle. How is this all going on without us even noticing? Can you feel the love the body has for you? Can you feel its willingness to do anything, to sacrifice itself, to behold this vessel that you allow to exist. You're enlivening the field. You're enlivening and strengthening its capacity to be. You're expanding the inherent intelligence that's in the cells that make up all the substance and structures and organizing principles of the body. And yes, if you rise up, you can feel the different centers of activity in your belly, in your heart. Feel it in your throat, in your lungs, and into the brain, this wonderfully sophisticated piece of organic material cased in our skull. It's the body, it's the brain, the nervous system. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening. And though it may seem so simple and ordinary, it's actually quite powerful. So the body is waking up to the knower as the knower wakes up to the body. And what this does is empowers the body to be a channel, an instrument of the knower, beyond just mind and five senses. It allows us to tune in to a frequency of knowing that is closer and more deeply related to the foundational structures of matter and existence in matter. We start awakening the channels, the capacities that the body carries to enhance our own ability to experience the inherent latent powers that lie in all matter, to awaken them, to awaken the asat within them, so that the current and purpose and organizing principles and structures of existence become more available to us to know, to experience, to expand what it means to be the knower in the process of moving into a relationship with the known. Let's talk about this a little bit more in the practical application of being able to integrate your body with the knowing of your awareness. Because you'll be integrating your belly, your heart, your relational components, your biochemistry, your bioelectrical aspects of your nervous system and brain as another way of perceiving and experiencing existence. We expand the repertoire of the instrument that our body is for consciousness and the ability of it to play and to hear and to sing and to feel. And the orchestra, the cacophony of existence in ways that our mind would never allow. Even our awareness in its vastness would not be able to recognize at first the miraculousness, the detail the precision, the intelligence, the inherent capacity of existence in a body to exist, to be in existence, to be alive, to know, to experience, to discover. So when you begin to awaken these capacities within the body, you begin to be able to learn, to know, and to experience others and the world in a depth and a detail and a fullness and an immediacy and a reality that's unmistakable. So I know many people who work with me have developed over time to attune themselves to others so that they, like a eardrum or a vibrational sensitive membrane, they can begin to recognize the character of the frequency of the vibration in a quality of feeling or sensation that has no story. It has no judgment or evaluation or comparison. It is an immediate vibrational frequency that is felt and known simultaneously. So we're attuning our body by attending to our body, the ability to recognize what is happening in other bodies. So in our spiritual development, as our consciousness strengthens, becomes more capable, our awareness is more focused as well as more expanded, that we discover this ability to manipulate consciousness in such a way that we can begin to get information about existence, about the very substance of existence and its interface with itself, with all of the rest of existence, and the vibrational exchanges that are constantly occurring in this endless unfolding cacophony orchestra of creation. And it allows us to filter, to focus, to attune through these instruments within the body. So part of the training of the Global Training Program is to learn to evaluate what's going on both internally and externally through these main channels of the body, the head, the heart, the gut. And using these channels, we get more information about whatever has come to us through our awareness or whatever has punched us in the gut. We can use our awareness to recognize that that's going on and begin to take the story off and feel the experience and get to recognize that what's arising with you didn't happen until you started talking to this person and they were sharing something about their circumstances. And something happened in you when they started talking about it. What is this that's happening in you? Is a match within your body with what's going on in their body. But maybe you don't know that at first. As a matter of fact, you have to train yourself to separate what's yours and what's theirs. But you can come to a place where you can get information that the other person is not aware of by listening to your own body. And you can take that information, you could feel it, and then put your attention into your heart, and then put your attention into your awareness. And you'll begin to get a sense of the whole sequence of circumstances, events, history, and lineage of that person, right, that is coming to be shown to you right here in this moment. You can see the cost and the benefit. You can feel it in the present moment, and you can see its likely outcome. So when we started talking about the interface between the body and the knower, you start expanding the knower's ability to know. You start expanding the quality of the knower that is also the experiencer to know. When we become skillful, when we attune and enliven and awaken the body as a vessel and a vehicle, as an instrument for the universe to know of its own nature and the nature of existence, we start bringing about a fundamental change in that moment, in that is arising between you and that other person. It's a change that's occurring in the vibrational frequency of the body, the vibrational frequency of the nervous system. The whole membrane starts impacting the other membrane. The more aware we are, the more we can lift the membrane, the vibrational frequency of the person we're acting with, so it's more in match with the vibration we're bringing. And they start experiencing a healing. They start experiencing a resolving, a relaxation, or a recognition or understanding of what it is that's arising for them that wouldn't have been possible without you being there with them. So you begin to discover that actually you are, if nothing else, at least an aspect of the Supreme Being coming into existence to intervene in that moment with the peril of that person, the crisis or the structures that are keeping them in suffering and separation and misery. And then you get to know something of the character of the Supreme Being when you play that role in the creation. And that is always truth, consciousness, and bliss. Greater truth. That means the greater immediacy of the reality of what you are right here, right now, in the reality of matter as it's showing up. Consciousness, this capacity to move and shift and receive and project energy, force. And then, of course, the sweetest of all sweet, love, Ananda. The sense of the recognition that you are them and they are you. This completion and resolution, where that person is lifted up to some aspect of that same connection through you. But we have to get to this place. To learn to attune, we have to get simple. We have to get so simple, so plain, so ordinary, so without an agenda. You have to find that silence and stillness and then rest there. You find that inner Sat reality that brings that presence, willingness, absolute surrender, and capacity to be into existence as a conscious unfolding of embodying, of experiencing and knowing and acknowledging and empowering our body to come into existence in a greater capacity than we normally pay attention to. We're either trying not to be in our body or avoiding whatever is arising in our body or bypassing it or projecting it onto others. Who else knows? But right in there is the subconscious structures of the organization of our individual consciousness. This is how we can dive into the realms of our unmet self without going through a laborious year-long analysis on what's wrong and what's true and what's not true, but rather in a direct relationship with where the source of the perpetuation of the suffering exists within you. You dismantle it at the root. And you don't actually, what you do is actually create new channels for the root that are no longer clogged. There, you open up a means by which the body becomes enlightened. This is an extraordinary experience. Those who have had major Kundalini awakenings, they know what it's like. If you haven't yet, well, you've had your energetic awakening where perhaps the body has come with you to some extent. But the depths and the wonder of what the body carries is the entire whole evolutionary unfolding through eons and eons of unspeakable periods of time that we all carry in every piece of DNA, in every cell of our nervous system, and in the very fabric of the substance of our physical existence. We are the stardust. We are the exploding of suns, creating novas and sending out particles of matter into outer space that collect and eventually organize and become us. Now, is this both wondrous and simple? See, the more quiet, the more still we are as a knower, the more we can perceive the nature of the creation through our own bodies. That the entire history, the entire present, the entire future can be read and sensed when we awaken this inherent capacity in the body to know its inherent truth. So when the Asat awakens, it joins with the Sat. When the matter awakens and joins with the awakened spirit, we live in a whole new paradigm of existence that fulfills its purpose. We become absolutely whole and complete in every moment where we are playing a role in the evolutionary purpose of existence in whatever moment that's arising for us, including here right now. Okay. You either have it or you don't, or you have it somewhere in between those two. So I want to open this up into the nature of this inquiry because it's very experiential. You know, when we begin to discover this capacity within our body, we shift in our relationship with existence in that moment. And it's this capacity that brings us as a supreme being into existence. The more we can integrate this, the more we're willing to be serving, being useful, to support the unfolding of the collective consciousness, the universal paradigm, the predicament that all human beings are in right now, through our own unique awakening gifts and our ability to apply them in our lived life and discover the full range of possibilities that the interface of spirit and matter bring. Okay, so I am open to hearing from any of you who would like to share from your experience or from your own insights or your own questions that may arise out of this. And we'll just see where that goes in our remaining time together. Okay, who's first?
First up is Nancy Atwood.
All right. Nancy,
No.
wow. What a place you're in.
Actually, this is a photo from my son.
Photo.
What is as a photo? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed. You
got-
may not be as real for you as it is for us, but
He's got quite an eye. He's actually the subject. This really Okay.
Okay, that's
Oh.
beautiful. What's there? Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's the whole thing right there. What just came up for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Um, it's kind of a practical question, really, but I started doing the world peace meditation. I want to say 10 days ago or so, and I did it with the intention of extending my heart, to well, I wanted to manipulate the situation and protect my family, you know.
Right. It's okay.
And during this time, I have a son, 40 years old, who has the last two times now that I've seen him has gutted me. And I felt this, in my third chakra. I felt this apprehension, when I would see him, that there was this fist, in my gut. And he
This is your father you're talking about?
my
Oh, your
son,
son. Okay. Yeah.
so he attacks me. He's describing himself, ironically. Um, but when you were talking today about, because mostly I'm confused, I sit there just confused. And but when you were talking about that what I heard anyway was that gut,
A reaction.
that place in me was that place in him, you know,
Very good. Perfect. Perfect example.
that what he's living through now is fear and destruction, of who he thought he was. And I'm picking, it's not me that has the fist in my gut, it's him.
Very good distinction. You're experiencing what he's experiencing, and the ability to discern the difference means you're actually doing what I'm saying. You're meeting him at the level of the embedded trauma that's creating the fear and the loss of self and all the rest of that egoing stuff that happens because it doesn't know it can just be. And in doing so, you create space for him to be there himself. Because by trying to run from that or compensate for that or handle that, he's keeping it in place. But if he could experience it in his body, like you're experiencing it, then he can actually meet it for what it really is without the story, without the projection into the future or the evaluator of the past, but in the immediacy of how that is. And in the process, it will open up and start revealing its nature to him, which will relieve him. It will bring some peace.
But I can't make that happen.
No, you can only make it happen by what you did.
No.
And to know that the confusion is the mind being trying to apply in a field it's not an expert in,
Yes.
which is the body. And the mind pretty much is any place else but the body. So when you can put your attention, your awareness, instead of in the mind, which is a confusion making machine, and you put it in your body, then the thing that'll happen very quickly is your heart will open in compassion and love.
I was going to ask you, do you think, I don't know if this is true, but I've suspected that the world peace meditation has brought this on.
Yes, it's likely because it helps organize your consciousness to start tapping into the current of your body through the breath and the mantra. And it draws on structures that exist in the subtle plane, both as the technique of the Om Tat Sat and the chant itself that evokes forces that are here to assist human beings if we knew they were there. to lift our vibrational frequency into a higher frequency. So it means you were ready. That's what it means. It means the world peace meditation is effective because you were ready for it. So it's not, it's you. And it's a tool, a means for your own embodiment and your own ability to be more useful in your relationship with your son and in the rest of your life, I'm sure.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Next up, we have Kalu.
Hey, Gallo.
Hello. Hey.
Hey, Gallo.
So great to see both, or I see only Satsang now.
Well, why don't you show both?
When he talks, we let him be the only one.
Yeah, but I don't care to be the only one. She's here too. She wants to see you.
I got to see him on
And
Friday.
yeah, all right, good.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to show up because I've been having this very strong back pain these last 2 days. So I noticed that when I'm in, it's like it started to get more intense a little bit before the satsang started, and it's been like this before as well. So I really wanted to show up mostly because of that and to see what will come up. Yeah.
Good. Describe, does the back pain have a location?
Yeah, it's very, very specific. It's the lower back to the right.
Okay, so what's the chakra that's to the front? Is it the second
no.
chakra? Third
No, it's
chakra?
Third to the back, but it's to the right. And when it started, because it's been the same, I've been experiencing the same thing when I was in Warsaw last year, and then we talked about it then, and then it kept coming and going for a while after I came back. And now I never had issues until it started to come up only in times when I would be in groups or in satsangs, and then I tried to poke it a little bit more, and then it opened up into this monster, and now it's just torturing me really. But and the interesting thing is that there's this aliveness also. And when the satsang started, I felt so much joy and alive with it. But yeah, it's also paralyzing. So I mean, I wasn't able to walk just a little bit when I was going out with the trash.
I got it. So this is part of the transformational process. You've been with me long enough that what it is, it's a blockage in the Kundalini Shakti as it's rising from the Asat coming up your body. It's getting stuck in the compensating structures for shame and self-diminishment and guilt and obligation and all those other components that get us duty, that get us locked up, tied up in a knot, right? Not unique to you, Galo. But it is something that, because of its long-term programming, has created a resistance in that area of your body. Like always, you have to tighten your gut to come into existence, or clench your jaw to come into existence in a situation where you have to step out of the boundary of your usual comfort zone. So being in a group or being online. And why is this paralyzing? It's because of the intensity of the force that's trying to come through that channel. And just like all things, it's wanting you to be still. It wants you to be still. That's what pain teaches the body. Stop moving, right? Be still. Because when you stay and you meet it, by the way, and that's exactly what to do, instead of meet the pain like something you don't want to experience, but meet the pain like in a welcoming willingness, you'll discover it's not pain. It's something else. Just take the label pain off and just be with it. Right now, you got it right there. It's going on.
It's, well, you know, it's been swinging back and forth between this, before it used to be creating the story a lot more. Now I can feel a lot more openness and this rawness, vulnerability with it, and I I mean, I'm really ready for it to show me what's hidden, and just not to avoid it, you know. So that's my intention with it, really, because I know it's something that has been coming up and then completely disappearing. So it's yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's here.
So every time it comes up, it's a gift. It's a one of those curses that is actually a blessing. So it's a gift. And that at that moment is your battlefield. And that in your moment, your Dharma is to be able to be present with what the body is trying to say or release. So you perfect the instrument by attending to the instrument. By attending to the instrument, you empower its own ability to heal itself, to come to resolution. It'll either happen in time because enough attention, pain draws our attention to the source of pain. Therefore, that which is in pain starts relaxing with our attention, but it takes time in the natural process. But when we consciously attend and we embrace that, then we become what the pain is. Yeah, see, the ultimate outcome of a knower is to become the known. The ultimate outcome of the lover, of the experiencer, is to become the experience. So when we allow ourselves to become intimate with that which we are seeking to know or seeking to experience, it completes. Matter and spirit are able to come together in ways they were not before, and it becomes resolved. And then the pain goes away for a while. But then you go back into life and you repeat the same strategies of contraction, of fear, of adaptation, and they accumulate again until it reaches a certain point where bang, you got the pain back. Now you're a young person, so the body doesn't usually give you a lot of trouble. You get old, you become much more alert to your body because it's so much more incapable of being in existence than what it used to be. So, and in that, you keep bringing the body back, refreshing the body's ability to be in existence. So you're actually transforming in every moment you're able to be this with this kilo, your body's ability to be in existence.
I think the only the only judgment that comes is when because I know I was doing it. I was trying to feel the spot in a loving way, and I feel like I opened something that I shouldn't have, and now it's just this self-judgment, I guess.
It just means that those are unmet areas of your embodiment that you're in a loving way allowing to come into existence. Now you could pay the price for a while as these different, but it's not something you shouldn't have done. It means it's something that was ready to happen. And therefore, this whole guilt and blame, and I did something wrong or I did something right, this is the ignorance of the evaluator that thinks that because there's more pain, therefore I did something wrong. You can't know from this alone. Yeah. Yeah, when we put the head on the shelf, everything starts becoming very simple.
Okay. I was hoping you would say that, so I feel something is
All right. Well, you got your hope. You got your wish.
okay.
All right, Kayla. Very good. Good to see you again. Namaste.
Namaste.
Next up is Radha Krishna.
Radha Krishna.
Radha.
Hey, so good to see you.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
This Zoom technology is interesting where you raise your hand and then you have to sit and wait until you speak. And so much comes up in
Good.
the waiting.
Yeah.
I had a very intellectual question for you, and in the process, I'm feeling nauseous and full of heat. And I realize I want to speak to this to make it more
Real
important.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah. That, you know, I do yoga classes every once in a while and just end up staring at my watch thinking, how much longer? I don't want to be in my body any longer. But what's happened with this is this attunement with another person's experience, which is surprising me sometimes when I experience it. And it's something that you have been teaching more and more. Um, is this something that you learned or is it something you discovered?
Yeah, it's a discovery for everyone. It's something by recognizing that's what happened, we empower.
Right. So the wonderfully succinct exercise that you guided us through earlier, um, that that was not a training you received, right? This is a revelation that you've
No, I
then
make up these
developed.
things as I go. It's
Right.
basically, once you know what needs to happen, then I just play with the forces to implement it. But where I'm coming from is, living in the direct experience for years and years and years of this and discovering it. You know how it started, Radha, is the way you're doing it, is teaching mantra techniques to other people
Hmm.
and feel the impact as you're teaching them.
Yes.
That is what
Yes.
attuned me to this capacity.
Yes. And so now I'll get away from the intellectual curiosity question and back to what's really happening with me right now is like, why is this conversation making me nauseous?
Because, Radha, you have not been in your body proportional to how much you've been in your awakened awareness. There's a gap. It's not a severe gap, but it is the nausea. It's probably something to do with that awful quality that needs to come into existence a certain way that's very demanding.
Yes, I apologize.
You're already
I do.
sorry.
I'm already sorry for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. Okay. All right. So once you sorry, the world starts forgiving you. But we are all like this. This is we're all the problem for everybody else, right? We're also the solution, but we're also the problem. So this being able to be aware of our our willingness to acknowledge this and the humility that would say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you for allowing me to exist in the way I am, which for me is much more miserable than it is for you. Let me tell you.
Well, when you were saying to attune to and talking about relationship, I thought, well, let me right now attune to Satri,
Mhm.
because you often describe that you're constantly in a state of bliss, physically in bliss. So I just put that out for everybody as a tip.
So how are you doing on that task?
That was very good.
Yeah.
That was
So
very good.
give yourself a hug. See, notice I did that. There's no difference between us.
Thank you.
I hug me, I hug you, I hug you all.
Amazing.
Thank you, Rod.
We're done.
All right, so this opens up wonders upon wonders. In fact, it expands our ability to be in relationship. It expands our ability to be with ourselves. It expands our ability to heal. It expands our ability to know and to recognize our universal nature, to understand from a different vantage point than what we usually use, and to meeting these other equally and even in some ways greater capacities for knowing that our body carries. All right, well, there you have it. Thank you all. Let's take a few minutes and we'll sit in silence and stillness together to bring you back into the seat of your knower within your body as silence and stillness. And we're a little over time, but we'll sit for 10 minutes anyway. All right, off we go. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat Shri. All glory to Supreme. May truth manifest. Namaste. Thank you.
It's nice to see some more faces again.